Greetings, good people. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, January 28th. The year is 2026. It's Hot Topics time, y'all. There's a whole lot of going on. Nicki Minaj is trending because she's defending her boy Cheeto over there. Blac Chyna, she is in the news. We got an update regarding her. Who else is on today's lineup? Shamea Morton from Real Housewives of Atlanta. You guys know that she was suing her dermatologist, and the dermatologist is fighting back and wants the lawsuit tossed out. Okay, we got a couple of other hot topics sprinkled in between, but before we get started, please pay your admission fee by liking the video. Okay, if you are new here, welcome, and if you are a returning royal family member, follower, and or friend, welcome back. All right, make sure you guys are sharing the video, dropping down in the comments, and sharing your thoughts, etc., all that YouTube stuff. Okay. So now that those church announcements are out of the way, let's get into this. Now, you guys know that the Super Bowl is right around the corner. Well, ICE basically said that they are going to be making an appearance. Okay. So ICE apparently will be at the Super Bowl. Let's take a listen to this news clip. Like to hear it? Here it goes.
Is coming to Levi Stadium in Santa Clara in February. Special government employees at the Department of Homeland Security, Corey Lewandowski, made the comments on a podcast saying there is nowhere that you can provide safe haven to people who are in the country illegally. Not the Super Bowl, not anywhere else. White House officials say ICE agents will be at the Super Bowl this year. The big game is coming to Levi Stadium in Santa Clara in February. Special government employees at the Department of Homeland Security, Corey Lewandowski, made the comments on a podcast saying there is nowhere that you can provide safe haven to people who are in the country illegally. Not the Super Bowl, not anywhere else.
So their presence, these people, their presence is going to be at the Super Bowl. A lot of people believe it is because of who the halftime performer is, Bad Bunny. This is just going to be a blank show. Now, I wonder how the NFL feels about this. I have not heard the NFL give a statement. Um, the stadium, the location, they haven't given a statement. They didn't say yay or nay, this is going to take place. We approve, we disapprove. I do think it's going to be madness, and it's going to be very disruptive. Okay. So, according to this DHS official, Department of Homeland Security official, he's saying that the action is a part of a broader security measure, emphasizing that the venue will not be a quote unquote safe haven for individuals in the country illegally. I'm wondering who they're expecting to show up at the Super Bowl. I did see people talking about like the tickets are extremely expensive and illegal immigrants are not purchasing tickets to the Super Bowl. But then again, you have to take into consideration maybe the people who are working the venue and vendors who will be selling things outside and around the actual location. I don't know. I just don't think that the people who they are claiming that they are looking for and trying to protect Americans from, um, are going to be harassed, are the only people that are going to be harassed. We've seen what has been transpiring lately with these ICE people. They are just lawless and they're able to do whatever the heck they want to do. And people who are tax paying, law abiding citizens are meeting their demise at the hands of these erratic idiots. Okay, for lack of a better word. I don't want to saturate my show with too much of this. That's probably for a completely different platform. Okay. Now, the story gained traction amid the current president's announcement that he is boycotting the game due to the NFL's entertainment lineup, including Bad Bunny and Green Day. All right. He knows that if he steps foot in this venue, everybody is going to boo him. He is probably going to be extremely embarrassed. He knows that a lot of people don't like him, so he is not going to go anywhere where the outcome is going to be in not in his favor. Okay, his ego has to be stroked. He's very juvenile in his thinking and in his actions, so his ego has to be stroked. So he know he would get booed right out of the arena, if not worse. Let's get into some of these comments. Now nobody's going to go, somebody said. Somebody said, I know you effing lying. Y'all better wake up. They had this all planned. Yeah, it seems like it because I did hear months ago when it was announced that Bad Bunny was going to be performing, they were saying that, ICE is going to be present at the Super Bowl. LMFAO, he still thinks Puerto Rico has a different president, huh? Once Cheeto heard Bad Bunny was performing, he got pissed and did this. I highly dislike this man. I'm tired of these people. This this is only because of who's performing the halftime show. Shaking my head. So not smart. It's gonna be hella refunds. This is ghetto AF. Now, if I don't know if people are gonna be refunding, they might. Maybe a sprinkling of people may. Isn't it too late to get a refund? Maybe not. They may either sell their ticket or probably won't show up or request refunds. What I'm curious to see is the advertisers who not only advertise commercials on television, during the broadcasting of the NFL, but advertisers who, advertise at the actual venue. If their money is jeopardized, I wonder what the reaction is going to be if their money is jeopardized because of the presence of ICE. This is really going to be interesting. I don't see anything productive or anything positive coming from this. I think that those people are going down there to poke their nose in the Super Bowl's business and see what feathers they could ruffle. They're a bunch of bullies, and they're able to get away with a lot. So we will see how the public will react. We will see how police officers will react. We will see how um, mayors and public officials and politicians in that area, how they will react. But I don't see anything positive coming from this whatsoever. Let me know what you guys think. Okay. All right. Speaking of more foolishness, y'all, look at your girl. Let me just play the video and then I'm gonna share my thoughts. Just look at this.
Hello. Uh, well, I don't know what to say, but I will say that um, I am probably the president's number one fan, and that's not going to change. And the hate or what people have to say, it does not affect me at all. It actually motivates me to support him more. And it's going to motivate all of us to support him more. We're not going to let them get away with bullying him and, the smear campaigns. It's not going to work, okay? He has a lot of force behind him, and God is protecting him. Amen.
Mm.
To work.
All right. If you guys have been listening, that was Nicki Minaj. This was a some sort of a summit that Donald Cheeto had, and Nicki Minaj was the speaker. She was also a donor allegedly. If you guys have been listening to my commentary on Nicki Minaj supporting the current president, then you know where I stand. I don't care to. For those of you who are new here, you haven't heard my commentary before. When it comes to rappers and certain entertainers, like this, I'm not interested in them mixing into politics because I said this yesterday on yesterday's Hot Topics video. If you missed it, be sure to check it out. It's gimmicky. And if you think that this is not a gimmick, then I don't know what to tell you. This was so cringe to watch. She sounded nervous. This sounded so rehearsed. Now she's Cheeto's number one fan. Again, she is obviously there is some incentive in this for her. The president gets his ego stroked, and she gets whatever it is that she wants from the current administration. And this is exactly why rappers and actors and entertainers mixing with politics, again, it comes across as gimmicky. Now, I said before, I know I sound like a broken record to those of you who have heard me say this before, but I've said, for those of you who haven't, I said that I wasn't fond of Megan Thee Stallion twerking in her blue suit for Kamala Harris. I wasn't a fan of seeing Kelly Rowland and Beyonce talk whatever the heck they were doing, just saying phrases and waiting for the audience to clap. It's gimmicky. Same thing with Cardi B giving her speech, yelling in the microphone, waiting for everybody to clap and hoot and holler. It's corny. It's corny. It's corny. Politics is not supposed to be entertaining like, rappers and actors are trained to be. Politics is supposed to be serious business, but this is pretty much on brand because this current administration is like a never ending Saturday Night Live sketch. So, Nikki being there and supporting whoever the heck she chooses to support, I guess is on brand for the current administration. Gimmicky and a total joke. Okay. Um, she says that she's Cheeto's number one fan. Hey, listen, when you make your bed, you are going to have to lay in it, okay? And usually you're going to have to lay in it alone, all right? Let's get into what these comments have to say, all right? Someone said her fan base is a cult, just like his, because she shouldn't have a single fan left after this nonsense. Someone asked, ain't she well, I guess they meant ain't she an immigrant, okay? Um she's trying to get her husband that pardon. He can't pardon her husband, but whatever. I'm not here to teach nobody nothing about the law. Look it up. She's trying to get her citizenship. Now that I could believe, okay? That thing sitting up there in that back. She got a wagon. I can't. This lady really went out bad. Like she really ruined everything she stood for. The downfall of Nikki should be a new documentary series. Now, when people say things like she ruined everything that she stood for, what did she stand for? Because 9 times out of 10, when things like this happen, there are clues that people oftentimes ignore leading up to situations like this. There were clues many, many, many moons ago, but people chose to ignore it because Nicki Minaj was very popular when she first came out and she took the rap scene by storm. There were a lot of people that liked her, there were a lot of people that didn't like her. She was everywhere, right? Major hits, major collabs, all that good stuff. So people liked her and they chose to ignore certain things, but there were clues. So maybe people just don't pay attention. Someone said she's on that white horse, she's high. Someone else said that she was out of breath as soon as she got up there. Big Bertha, I can't, with the oily slick down. LMAO, her cult gonna lie and say she didn't mean it. She don't even seem like she believed that. LOL cringe. Exactly. When she was sitting at the Turning Point event, she called the current president a handsome and a dashing man. Now, I just believe that Nikki is doing whatever it is that she needs to do to gain whatever it is she is trying to gain. What that is, the world may never know, but she is working like the rent is due and she is trying to get something out of this administration. It doesn't appear to me, in my opinion, my observation, that she even believes half of the stuff that's coming out of her mouth. But sometimes when people are desperate, they will do whatever they got to do to get whatever it is that they want. And to me, that's exactly what it seems like. Okay. Again, a gimmick. Someone asked, "Is she pregnant?" And someone replied, "Nah, she just big as F." I can't. Someone said, "Her AWS looks pregnant." Girl, we understand doing what you have to do for you and your whatever, but this is a bit much. She just went there to look like she did something. LOL. Kind like me on group projects back in high school. So people aren't, listen, what do you expect? You shouldn't expect. I'm just gonna leave it alone. Share your thoughts, y'all. Let me know what y'all think. And I know this is gonna blow up the internet. Everybody is going crazy. Okay. All right. Up next, let's move it along, y'all. Be sure to like the video. Don't forget, please pay your admission fee. If you're just joining, please hit the like button. Share the video if you care. Drop down in the comments and also share your thoughts. All right. Speaking of crazy, I really want these podcast mics to be discontinued, okay? Because every time I turn around, there is someone on a platform talking about relationships, talking about what women should be doing, what men don't like, what women don't like. this, that, and the other, and no one. It's just a bunch of fruitless conversations. Totally fruitless conversations. Take a look and a listen to this.
Black women are lazy.
Wow. Black women lazy? I don't understand. What do you mean by that?
A lot of black women are lazy. A lot of, and I can't say a percentage number because, I'm no.
And that is exactly when everybody should tune out. A lot of. I can't say a percentage. Of course you can't. Because you're making a general statement to get attention online. There is no scientific evidence that you've done. You have done no experiments. You have no statistics, nothing. You probably couldn't even do a valid experiment to come up with a number. You didn't even fake it. You didn't even throw out a percentage. I can't give a percentage, but a lot of. Whenever you hear that, anything after that should be taken, like I said, should be treated like a Saturday Night Live comedy sketch. All right, but let's just continue to listen for the sake of the video.
Statistic or analytical person, but
You're not a statistic or analytical person. So why should we be listening to anything that you have to say when you're making such a generalized, nonsensical, baseless statement? And see, this is what I mean about platforms being given to idiots. This woman is an idiot. I don't need to know her to know that she's a bona fide idiot. I don't care how many businesses she started. Idiots can start businesses. Look at this country. There's a lot of idiots that own businesses. That does not make you anybody worth listening to. Okay?
a lot of black women want to either be taken care of, want to remain on Section 8 in public assistance, or are comfortable being a CNA with the W-2 position, right? And not all, because there are black. Okay, they're not all. They're
There's
not
gonna be a
all.
lot of black CNAs that get offended with you saying what.
If anybody is listening to this and is a black CNA or knows someone that is a black CNA, listen to me very clearly. No one, and I mean no one, should get you offended, especially someone like this who's making a baseless statement. A lot is not a scientific statement. That holds no weight when it comes to experimental statistics. Okay, a lot. Imagine a statistician telling you, well, a lot of black women go to college. Well, what's the percentage? A lot. I'm not a statistical person, but a lot. This woman should never offend you, ever, ever, ever. Okay, anyone who is working in the healthcare industry, a CNA, anyone who has a W-2, anyone who punches a clock, works a 9 to 5, please hear me clearly. Someone like this, no one should offend you, but someone like this definitely shouldn't offend you. This woman is looking for attention. She's looking to be talked about. She's looking to go viral. She's looking to have an argument so that she can get some sort of attention from a bunch of strangers.
You turning your nose up at CNN. I'm just letting you know.
Because I'm not wiping no shit for $18 an hour. And they're proud of that. Girl, I make $21 an hour. $800 a week. What the fuck you gonna do with $800 a week?
CNA community is gonna come after you then.
Are they? Yeah. I apologize. Because we do need them. I just would never be one. A lot of.
Oh boy. Anyway, like honestly, there's no this. First of all, whoever found this picture, give me your phone. Okay. There's a lot of there's a whole bunch of comments in here, y'all. Somebody said whoever did her eyebrows was lazy eyebrows. Please, they're talking about her looks. Lazy are the efforts of the glam team. I have a lot to say, and none of it is nice. Yet black women are the fastest growing entrepreneurs and has the most degrees collectively. Again, this is somebody who has no statistical evidence of anything, of none of this. This is just baseless attention seeking statements. And this is the problem, that a lot of these platforms, they platform people like this with nothing. I don't care how many, she could own 10 businesses. You are extremely, I'm not going to say that because that's not nice. So if anybody is a CNA, none of you should be offended by anything that someone like this has to say. don't be offended. This is the type of situation where you just let a fool babble and you just say, okay, and you move on. You move on. Nobody cares about what you have to say. And it's so sad that grown like adults, not children, but adults will get onto social media and say anything. And even if they're getting negative attention, they're satisfied because they're getting attention. Do you know how pathetic and how low your self-esteem has to be that it doesn't matter if you're getting negative attention online as long as you're getting some sort of attention, you're satisfied? So yeah, there's nothing there's nothing to say. I mean, you can go through the comments. I thought that this was interesting, but my point in showing this is that everyone doesn't deserve to be platformed, and there are some people who will just do anything for attention, and social media has its good and it's not so good, has its bad, has its positive, has its negatives. But this is an instance where social media is used to just kind of like pacify some of the most weak minded, very insecure, low level thinking human beings. And that's pretty much what I wanted to say. I would never say anything about anyone negative about anyone who is punching the clock and working, whether you're working for $18 an hour or $8 an hour. Okay, you have to crawl before you walk. And I'm not even going to go into a whole spiel, but hopefully you won't need a CNA to wipe your behind as you grow old. Because I'm gonna tell you something that I do know. I ain't telling you what I heard, but I'm gonna tell you what I know. You can be up one day and to no fault of your own, just because that's how life is and God works in mysterious ways. You could be in one position today and be in a completely different position tomorrow. And that's all I have to say about that. And that's wisdom speaking, not attention seeking, foolish babble. Okay. Fruitless conversations is what is being had on social media. And it's just old. And it's always easy to say black women ain't doing this, black women ain't doing that. And let me tell you something, black people, don't let anyone get a rise out of you by you trying to use you for them to get attention. Learn to just be like, well, that's her opinion. Nothing that she says or anybody who speaks like this should affect you. Nothing. Because guess what? She's not in a position to give you anything or take anything away from you because she didn't create you. So she can't destroy you. She's just a babbling fool that is fruitless. And again, I don't care how many businesses she owns. That don't mean anything. All right, let's move it along before I start preaching up in here. All right. Real Housewives of Atlanta star Shamea Morton, so she suffered permanent injuries from a chemical peel and she filed a malpractice lawsuit, right? So the doctor is saying that they want the lawsuit tossed and denies fault for the second degree burns. Okay. So the doctor being sued by Real Housewives of Atlanta star Shamea Morton is asking the court to dismiss the case. According to court documents obtained by Us Weekly, child, this name had me rolling. Jing Wong Harris, MD, denied all allegations in a response filed December 19, 2025, arguing that any injuries Shamia suffered were caused by factors outside her control. Harris said that she was present and supervising when a nurse performed the chemical peel, acknowledged that Shamia complained of discomfort, and said that she applied a neutralizing. You gave Myra a perm without neutralizing spray. While Harris admitted Shamia had an unforeseen reaction, she denied liability and demanded the lawsuit be thrown out. Shamia filed a medical malpractice lawsuit after alleging that she was negligently burned during a chemical peel at Pretty Faces Atlanta. Why do y'all? Never mind. I guess she's an MD, so she probably thought the place was reputable. And it makes me wonder: has Shamia visited this place before? So this happened back in March of 2024, and Shamia claims that this injury caused permanent scarring. She said that the procedure should not have been performed due to her diagnosis of tinea, whatever that's called, and argued that she should have been referred to a dermatologist. Okay, so then why did you go to this place, Shamia? I'm not victim blaming. We just have to ask questions. You're going to get a chemical peel. I mean, wouldn't you go to a dermatologist? How did you end up going to Jing Jing Wang Harris, MD? Like, how did you hear about this person? Shamia also claimed that the peel, including multiple Shamia also claimed the peel, including multiple passes, was inappropriate for her skin type and performed without proper preparation. So why did you go there? In the suit, the Bravo celeb alleged that the peel was too strong and done without proper supervision, resulting in second-degree burns, blistering, and permanent scarring. She said that she cried in pain during the procedure, and you stayed there and didn't get up. And her attorney wrote that Shamia's screams were so loud that Harris, who was the MD, for the first time that day, entered the room where the procedure was being performed. The filing also claims that Harris told Shamia she was being dramatic and applied an unknown solution from a spray bottle. Shamia is seeking unspecified damages. So this is the but isn't a chemical peel supposed to peel? So if it's not the doctor's fault or the technician or whoever did the chemical peel, whose fault is it? Jing Jing is Candy's friend. This is what somebody wrote in the comments. She attended the fair with Candy. Okay, so that answers how she was referred to this place. Yeah, because why wouldn't you go to a dermatologist for a chemical peel? But then if your friend refers you somewhere, then you probably take that referral as if it's, you know, Bible. That's how all chemical peels look. This is what someone else is writing in the comments. You are supposed to test a patch first to see if your skin can take it. Mm, 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 mm. Someone else wrote, none of these treatments are necessary for Black women, and it is so sad that so many women of color go out their way to have treatments that were never designed for our skin. But go off with this lawsuit that is absolutely going to be tossed out because one, the waiver you signed, and two, previous conditions you were absolutely aware of prior to. Still praying for her health in all this, but yeah, good luck. Right, Shamia, if you were aware that you already had a skin disorder, I don't know. I guess because Candy recommended it. Oh, so why not just go to a dermatologist? Love the skin you are in. Someone said that's normal. Yeah, I thought your skin is supposed to peel, but she has scarring and blistering. It could be due to the skin condition that you have. I I don't know. All right, y'all. Ending on a lighter note. Blac Chyna, well, Angela White, formerly known as Blac Chyna, she is admitting that Blac Chyna was leading people to destruction by promoting OnlyFans, and she says that's not godly. Let's take a look and a listen to what she had to say. Like to hear it? Here you go.
Yeah. Brought Angela more to us, to the world. What went into that?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took a lot, and it just really took me being truthful to myself, just with like the lifestyle that I was living, the things that I was doing, how I was affecting people in a positive way or a negative way, like the influence and all of that. And I had to take a step back and think about like, okay, for example, if I'm doing OnlyFans and people are seeing that I'm making so much money, that's going to influence them to want to go and do OnlyFans. And the backlash of that is God, that's not a good thing. That's not godly. So when I'm being judged, I have to speak up and take accountability for me leading people to destruction.
But now it seems like you've brought Angela more.
So who is that guy? Is that the guy that Megan Good was married to? Is that Megan Good's ex-husband? Anyway, first of all, I have to say this. Angela White has definitely been on a journey to better herself, to mature, and to take accountability for all of her past actions and to kind of wipe the slate clean. Physically, she's getting herself in shape. She removed a lot of the cosmetic procedures that she had done, had stuff taken out. She's just doing her thing, and I'm so glad and happy for her. I really am. She looks amazing. She sounds amazing. Just this new journey that she's on, it looks good on her. Growth is really, really looking good on her. So let's get into some of these comments. Someone said, as we get older, we change, and the things we have done before are no longer interesting and fun anymore. Personal growth and peace are more important than ever. I'm so happy and proud of Angela. She looks so way better and she looked healthy. I loved it for her. God is the greatest. I love how this wasn't a phase with her. Good for you, Angela. Yeah, it's been the past 2 years she's been in just transforming and growing and just going in a different direction. I'm really, really happy for her having a mother like the one she got. I'm proud of her being a better example and role model to your children. I love it. She's a good mother. She looks good. She does look amazing, and she looks so much happier. First of all, I love this life for her. Second, she looks just like her mom right here to me. Growth looks good on her. So she's getting a lot of positive feedback, and she's just taking accountability for her actions. Um, she doesn't come across as she's trying to change anyone else. Whenever she sits down in an interview or whenever she gets onto social media and talks about her life and her journey, she always talks about what she has done, what she is doing now, what she plans to do different. She always talks about herself, just self-reflection. It's just positive. I wanted to definitely end on a high positive note. Good for you. Good for you. Somebody said, who is the guy? Oh, Devin Franklin. That's his name. Megan Good's ex-husband. What I do is when I like pull up these stories to do for hot topics, I intentionally don't go through the comments. I mean, I may see a few, but I try to go through the comments when I'm actually recording the video so I can get a natural reaction. So yeah, she does favor her mother, but she certainly is a lot more mature than her mother is. So good for her, man. Good for you. So ladies and gentlemen, we ended on a high note. What I would like for you to do is drop down in the comments and share your thoughts. What do you think about Nicki Minaj claiming that she's Cheeto 4547's number one fan? Do you think that Nikki is trying to get something out of this administration? It's obviously working. She's very convincing because you can see Cheeto 45 grinning and smiling and giving, Nicki Minaj a kiss on the side of her head. He's such a God, he's so simple minded. Anyway, drop down in the comments and let me know what you think about ICE being outside of the Super Bowl. Are you going to the Super Bowl? Do you know anyone who is going to the Super Bowl? Do you think that this is going to be a huge distraction? What are your thoughts about the NFL not saying anything about this? Okay. As far as the podcast guest who said that a lot of Black women are lazy, I already gave my spiel. You don't need to comment on that. Like I said, no one like that should ever have any effect on what you do. You do what you do it to the best of your ability, and then you grow from there, and then you continue to do more. People who try to seek attention by downing or putting down other people, those people stay far away from. Don't engage. Okay. Shamea Morton, what are your thoughts on Shamea's chemical peel? Somebody got to take responsibility. And yes, she could have signed a waiver, and yes, she was very much aware that she already had an existing skin disorder, so it's likely that this could be tossed out. We shall see. And then, of course, Angela White, Blac Chyna, share your thoughts. You still have time to like the video. If you're just entering, you can always go back and watch the replay. If you made it to the end, I gracefully, and gratefully thank you for your view and your support. All right, y'all, I'm signing off. I will be back. I'll be scouring, the internet to see what's popping off, and I will be back. All right. So I love you for watching, and I will talk to you later.